In this episode, we learned that Kirakira can be formed into solid objects, so it's as though our heroines have the powers of the Green Lantern Corps. If that's the case, I think we should kill off the Elder before he starts contemplating mass genocide or anything like that. Following up on the last episode with Ichika's decision to turn their base of operations into an actual bakery open to the public, the group tries to bake a cake to display, only to have it explode, apparently because the oven was too hot. Normally I'd say that's a bit unusual, but considering I've recently seen pizza explode, I guess I shouldn't be that surprised. With their bakery covered in burnt cake, the Precure are forced to do some serious spring cleaning. During this, the Elder catches everyone by surprise by revealing he has a human form. While he's far from the first fairy to take human form in this series, and probably not the last we'll see this season, he is the first elderly fairy we've ever seen take in human form. Here's hoping Pecoine's human form looks something like this. Actually, can we get the chibi version? There we go. Also, am I the only one who thinks the Elder's human form looks like an older Aroma? Anyway, he reveals a secret room housing a giant gumball machine containing all the Kirakira used by the previous Precure patissier. As I mentioned, Kirakira can be used like Green Lantern energy, which our current team starts using willy-nilly to start remodeling their little shop. Cause yeah, I'm sure your predecessors don't mind you using the energy they probably spent decades gathering towards the construction of your little unlicensed shop. Seriously, were they ever gonna get around to actually getting a license, or is one of the main themes of this anime gonna be tax evasion? Actually, if that is the case, then this is probably the Precure season best suited for an American audience. Well, whatever the case, things don't progress all that well at first, with Akira and Aoi making holes in the wall instead of tables, Himari being unable to buy baking ingredients amongst the crowds of very irritable housewives, and Yukari being a total troll and asking her teammates if they're really all for opening a bakery, especially Akira. Oh, I think I can actually hear the Ichika/Akira and the Yukari/Akira ships going at it. Still, in spite of this laundry list of problems, Ichika accepts their first catering job from a little girl who just so happens to walk into their shop. She wants something sweet for a tea party she's gonna have with her friends, but doesn't know what exactly she wants. Without a complete shop or any real idea what to make for their first job, the team decides to sleep on it. Fortunately, things do pick up the next day when all of the Precure, aside from Ichika, decide to work in pairs in order to help one another complete the task they couldn't the previous day. We've got Akira helping Himari shop for ingredients. And I think a third chip just entered the fray. Jeez, Akira's gonna have one hell of a harem by the end of this. And Yukari directing Aoi into making a counter for the shop by using disguise-style techniques. From there, they all work together to clean up the bakery with Kirakira because apparently it's the new Windex, thus completing their little remodeling project. Seeing her teammates coming together gives Ichika an idea of what to make for the little girl's tea party. It turns out to be a cake topped with macaron, ice cream, chocolate, and pudding. Good lord, the calories on that thing must be off the charts.
Actually, I found that you don't gain any weight as long as you burn calories by using your brain.
And of course, after making something that insanely unhealthy, an MLTW shows up to consume its Kirakira. The Precure of course transform, complete with their first team roll call, and admittedly have one of their best fights to date since they use some very impressive teamwork. But again, they just beat the monster that looks like a shiny Halego without any real fanfare or sense of accomplishment. Yeah, I don't even have much to say at this point. It's going to be the same complaints until we actually get a major threat for this team already. With their first job done, the episode ends with the team officially opening their little unlicensed shop and getting ready for business, before the business administration comes in to shut them down. This episode was yet another okay one, but I'm really hoping they start picking things up soon. Again, there's not a lot technically bad about this episode. Backgrounds and lighting remain strong, faces while a little off model at times remain very expressive, and we get to hear Ichika's great insert song for the first episode one more time. But then there's the issues involving a little something called the plot. The thieves remain just plain annoyances at this point, and as a result, the Precure as a team have no clear goals. Now, I'm not saying this episode didn't accomplish anything. It was yet another team building episode, but unlike the last one, most of it was not handled by Ichika, which honestly I think was for the best. As great a leader as Ichika is, it's nice seeing the Precure working independent of their leader, showing that they are competent in their own right. Best of all, we get to see new interactions, Akira with Himari and Aoi with Yukari. It really helps make them feel like an actual team, as opposed to one where the leader just barges in and solves everything for them. Ahem. Still, it looks like we're going to have to wait at least a couple more weeks before the plot decides to pick up and we get a real villain to add intrigue to the show. Currently, I'm in the middle of producing a Disgaea video, and hopefully I should have something up by next week. Until then though, farewell for now my friends, and Never procrastinate on your spring cleaning. I always hate this time of the year.